George!
Joe Ridgely.
Oh my God, you actually said my name. Is something wrong? You feeling okay?
Well, I have been sick. But I'm feeling better. Life is beautiful. Life is great. And we're fucking still doing this shit, man. And it's getting cooler. It's getting cooler. So anyway, you are actually not feeling super great today, correct?
Yeah.
You know what? That's fine. I'm feeling much better.
A little under the weather, a little puking and all that other stuff. But again, dehydration, alcohol's a perfect cure, and we're gonna roll with it.
There you go. I've got my McKim wooden leather clipboard here as always with my little Indie Brigade thing on it for now.
Nice.
About to take that off.
And you shut your mic off.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, somebody muted your mic for a second.
Is it there?
Yeah, you're there now.
All right. Well,
I don't know what happened. The clipboard or something.
Yeah, probably. These clipboards, man, they're pretty strong. They can press space bars with ease.
So, George, that whole audio thing, what are we doing right now?
Yeah, I'm getting to it. Good God, man. For everybody listening, we are now, I guess, what's the word, syndicated across all kinds of audio-only platforms. So for the benefit of our listeners on platforms like iHeartRADIO and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and everything else that's out there that Joe will run down the list of, maybe. You are listening to the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host, George C. Romero, and Mr. Joseph Ridgely. Bang.
Oh, Dad, please don't. Really?
Yeah, man, I did it. I just did that shit for everybody to hear.
Now, imagine me growing up. I have two biblical names, Joseph David.
How'd that
in a Roman
work
Catholic household.
Well, listen, I think we should do a whole sub-channel dedicated to talking about that. Who knows? We could help a lot of people, Joe.
Well, Ernie's short film, Ernie O'Donnell, his short film could be involved in that.
That's true. We could do a whole thing. We could do a whole crossover thing. But, speaking of helping people, you know what I'm excited about today?
What's that?
Besides our episode, I'm excited about the fact that we just launched Scare Tactical today. Scare Tactical is basically a line of clothing and cool things basically like the Indie Brigade stuff that's available, but with pretty powerful indie artist messaging, and a portion of every piece from the Scare Tactical collection that gets bought through the merch store goes directly toward getting the Veterans Compound off the ground. For anybody who's not familiar with the Veterans Compound, it's a program I've been developing for a long time. And we're working very hard to pull the trigger on all the funding we need to open it big. But until then, I can't bring myself to sit around and wait. It's driving me nuts. So we need to essentially raise some money. So we're doing a whole new line of clothing called Scare Tactical. And it's great. Check it out. You can just go to scaretactical.com and it'll take you right to the Romero Pictures site. You can go to the merch store from there and click on the Scare Tactical category and check it all out. We've got some pretty cool merch there, and everything that you buy from there helps us help vets.
You gotta let them know what one of our favorite ones are. The saying on one of them pertaining. Do you have
the pictures? Did you get pictures? No. Well, anyway, we've got some really great stuff up there. We've got some coffee mugs. We've got some great messaging. Right now, I'm torn. I love all of the first three that we've launched. I'm torn between two of them being my favorite. One is Fuck Your Reboots, and the other one is If I Die, Film It. So go out there, get you some indie attitude, and embrace the Indie Brigade, embrace Scare Tactical, and help us help some vets while you're at it. What do you think about that, Joe? Fuck you, Joe. How about that, Joe?
Who are you again? I'm looking at comments.
Sean Smithson. Something actually that I talked to Sean about earlier today, Joe, is he's got a woodworking company. He's a phenomenally talented woodworker, and he's passionate about what we're doing here at the Brigade, so much so that he put a video up the other day kind of crediting us for helping to inspire him to start to make his own horror film. to start writing a script and everything. And I've been talking to Sean offline as part of our mentor program, and he's a phenomenal guy and a very talented woodworker. And his woodworking company, I'm happy to announce, is going to come on and sponsor Ian Steyer's blog, The Devil is Into Details, which is a nice transition to get in to talk about all of the different shows that we've got now. The Indie Brigade is no longer just me and Joe getting on here and sounding like assholes. We got all kinds of people to sound like assholes all over the internet now. So that's what we're going to dedicate the first portion of tonight's show to. We're going to introduce everybody watching to all of the different aspects of the Indie Brigade at this point, at least most of them, those who are available. And then we're going to bring up our guest, Mick Strawn, who is a major friend to the Indie Brigade. He's also a member of our mentor program and a phenomenally talented production designer, effects guy, and producer. And he's got some pretty cool shit he's going to be talking with us about tonight. So I'm very excited about tonight's episode. And I'm very excited about everything that's going on because it's all very exciting.
I can tell by the enthusiasm, your face, it's excitable.
This is ecstatic.
Here it is. What we're going to do tonight, though...
Do you have any other announcements? Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I want to say hi to Libby. Libby is
Libby.
awesome. Libby and Matt we love Libby and Matt. And wow, darn it, Joe. Fair enough. And Sean is saying he can't wait to help out with Scare Tactical. That's very cool. I'm going to go through some of these because we've had a hard time going through some of them. So we got Wheels saying, hey, everyone, support our vets. Joe and George, you rock. Thank you very much. Lauren, fuck your exactly.
I think that might be the best seller.
and we got Samantha, you're going to be on in a minute. We got this nice
it's
lady.
My beautiful wife. It's the reason that I do everything on this earth.
Second reason.
Well, yeah. We don't talk about that online.
All right, fair enough. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pull up one of our first members. Actually, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, who bribed Joe the best? That'd be Chuck. Chuck bribed Joe.
Chuck Daniels, Chuck Nasty. My dear friend
guys?
and brother. What's up, man?
What's up? No, not much. How you all doing?
We're doing great tonight. It's a good night for you too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Always, right?
Always.
Listen, for anybody who doesn't know, Chuck was a guest on the very first episode of Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast. And then the next episode, I believe, or we had some sort of fucking blame Joe situation. I don't remember. But it was bullshit, and I blamed Joe. And that's how it all started. And anyway, Chuck has come on board and has got, there it is, there's the new official Romero Pictures finger-pointing division, #blame Joe. God damn it, Joe. Really? Seriously. Artwork by Mr. Ian Steyer, who hopefully will make it on at some point tonight later. Anyway, so Chuck has come on board with the Indie Brigade. He's been a lover and a supporter of the Indie Brigade since the beginning, and he has now come on with his own audio podcast that we are working very hard to get syndicated and pushed out, just like the Indie Brigade podcast is currently. As of now, Chuck is here to talk a little bit about the Nasty Nation with Chuck Nasty. And what exactly I and Joe are so excited about the fact that he's bringing to us. It's a whole underground sort of like amazing perspective on an entire culture. So Chuck, welcome to the Indie Brigade. Welcome, Nasty Nation, and thank you for joining us, man.
Hey, first off, thanks for having me on, like always, and thank you for having me be a part of such a cool thing like Indie Brigade.
Yeah, man.
I used to do podcasts off and on for the last few years, and then I stopped. And this is actually the reason why I started back, actually, was because me and you, George, have talked about it a few times before this started. And you all got this thing rolling. And I was like, maybe I should start trying to see about getting back into it. And I'm kind of a loudmouth anyway. And some say I like to hear myself talk. So might as well be a podcaster, right?
Well, we've got hopefully a pretty good podium for you to get this one back off the ground with. Why don't you tell everybody watching a little bit about what the Nasty Nation is, what it's about?
The Nasty Nation is basically usually about an hour long, talking about music, underground stuff, mainly underground. That's the underlying word there is underground. Being a musician, music is the main thing. Also a horror fanatic, horror is the other thing. You will occasionally get my own personal opinions about things that are not music related, not movie related, but it's all me, and take it or leave it,
Exactly. That's what I love about you, man. And it's interesting because you actually have two separate arms of the Nasty Nation. You've got your regular podcast, which is you and guests, and then you've got your Somewhat Sober Sundays, which those are sort of where you kind of drill a little deeper, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it was hey, Miss Romero, how's it going? It was kind of a joke. I wasn't really serious about doing the Sunday thing at first. And then to be perfectly frank, I got really stoned and was like, you know what? I have no one to talk to. So I'm just going to talk to like the people that might listen and, and just kind of just go with it. And where my show isn't, it's not live. A lot of times when I do the intro or whatever, I have to push delete and restart and all that shit. And I decided that with the Sundays, I'm just going to let it go and just, fuck ups are fuck ups. And I just whatever's on my mind at that moment. And the reason it's called Somewhat Sober Sunday, which is kind of a hard thing to say over and over again, is because, Sunday's the day of rest, whatever. And after, Friday and Saturday of drinking whiskey nonstop, which we don't usually stop on Fridays and Saturdays. But Sundays are usually the day of okay, no alcohol, just a little bit of greenage, and kind of just chilling out, being inside my head for a minute and sharing it.
Well, and that's what I think is my favorite thing about the Nasty Nation is that you've got a very unique and interesting perspective on not only art, music, and film, but also in life, and that's what I love about what you're doing with the Nasty Nation, and that's why I'm awful proud to have you as part of the Brigade, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I'm proud to be a part of it. It's an honor.
Cool.
Definitely.
Stick around. Next we have Oh, Terry bribed everybody else, but he didn't bribe me. So I'm going to go with Sam next.
Hi.
Hey, Sam.
I'm doing double duty.
I see that. We've got Samantha Wagner from the Wagner Wiles.
You got to do one of these things.
Yes.
Or however you do.
The puppet?
Yes.
Oh, wait. That's the only way we don't disagree. Sorry.
Lance's will work. We miss Lance. We wish Lance was here with you. But I'm happy that you were able to come on and sort of introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about your show and what's going on with you.
We are Wagner Wiles, happy to be doing something as a husband and wife. We review movies from way different perspectives. We watch movies differently. We talk about movies differently. We feel them differently. And we still have to live with each other. So we're trying to figure out how to do that cohesively and share it with the world and have fun doing it.
You guys do have fun doing it. That's what I love about it. And you guys are so in love, it's not even funny. So I think it's really cool. It's an interesting perspective for people to kind of watch movies with you guys and kind of get there he is and get that perspective and watch you guys kind of live as a beautiful couple and a family with things like horror films and indie films in your life as something to really that you both can really enjoy from different sides of the same coin. I think it's super cool and we're really proud to have you.
Thank you. So this week, we're going to be on later, but I just wanted to share with you, I've challenged Lance to not do a horror show this week.
Uh-oh.
fix something in my realm, which makes him uncomfortable instead of me having to be the bad guy.
Porn?
Yeah, maybe.
Porn kills.
Is there indie film porn?
There's
Yes.
indie everything.
Oh
Chuck
yeah,
said
there's
yes.
yeah, there's
Go
definitely
to the
indie
Nasty
porn.
Nation if you need information on that world.
All right,
Wait,
I'll hit
they
you. I'll
don't-
hit
they
you
don't-
up, Chuck.
They don't call it indie, they call it amateur.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I forget what the kids call things nowadays. I'm old.
Oh no, I like this better. It's Radley. I like that.
So,
Bradley.
quick question, and I need both of you to actually fill this in. Let's go back to Chuck for a second. Chuck, when are your episodes? When do they go live?
I put them up on Thursday and Sunday. Thursday, usually I try to get them out between like 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometimes 10 o'clock. And on Sundays, usually around 6 or 7.
Very cool. And
So what Chuck meant to say is they will be on Thursday prime time around 7 or 8 p.m. and Sunday prime time around 7 or 8 p.m. He will send those links to me and I will get them up on the Indie Brigade page.
yes, there you
He
go.
said it best. He said
Well
it
said,
best.
Chuck. Who do you have coming up on your next episodes? Do you have anybody cool coming on your show?
Let's see. There's a couple of possibilities. I'm waiting for some confirmation. Possibly a member of one of my favorite bands might be on either the end of this month or next month. So trying to figure that out, but it's looking like it might be a thumbs up on that.
Awesome.
I got a buddy of mine who plays drums for the band Max Sabbath. You ever heard of Max Sabbath?
Yeah.
For those that don't know who Max Sabbath is the McDonald's version of Black Sabbath, and it's really cool. It's really entertaining. And an old friend of mine, Mark Borders, plays drums, and I'm trying to get him on. Trying to get him on at the end of this month, but it might end up being next month also. So we'll
Very
see.
cool. Well, we can't wait to see all the cool people you're talking to, man. And I'm excited to watch the Nasty Nation grow with the Brigade, man. So anyway, moving on to Samantha. What about you guys? When are your shows coming on? What is the next episode people can look forward to? How often can they see your shit? And,
Right now, because I'm so busy at work, we're doing every other week, and we are Wacky Wagner Wednesday, something like that, something with all the W's.
It was the
You have to do that.
Wild, wacky,
Wagner
wicked.
Wild
that's not
Wednesday.
wicked. I mean,
insane, any of it,
how about
anything
something in
with
keeping
W.
with our branding? Like Wicked, maybe? I don't know.
Wicked, yeah, all of
Well,
that works. Anything with the
A
W,
little more fucking evil.
right? So we have merch out there. We're so excited. It's so cool to see your name, like with George and Joe involved in it. It's just like so awesome, so surreal. So excited about what's coming down the pipe, and just so honored to be a part of this big picture.
Well, the honor's ours that you want to be here. So Lance, there he is right there in love with you from Peanut Gallery tonight.
He
'cause
loves
really
me
good.
so much. I'm like his queen.
It's awesome. There you go. And you know what? We expect to see that in your episodes.
Yeah. This week, I hope he's very uncomfortable.
Remember, amateur, not indie. Oh, wait, wrong company.
Yes. Terry.
Drone guy.
Hey,
Norm. Oh,
Finally.
sorry.
Drone guy. The only one who got the memo.
yeah. I mean,
With the
come
shirt. Well,
Man, is that a limited edition Romero Pictures Indie Brigade crew
on.
shirt?
It is, and I bought one just to keep unwrapped. So, this is going to be like my $1 million retirement thing here.
Absolutely. it
Being
will
a
be.
classic. But Joe, you didn't get your bride?
I didn't get no.
You've been getting your mail, right? Check the mailbox.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
did
kind
you
of
ask the
creepy if you
neighbors?
know my
Oh, look at that. Did
address.
Joe jump to a conclusion?
We
Uh-oh.
did get a package without giving him our address. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
Got a package of pretzel
All these
socks, and
people
he
look at the
never got
drone
his
guy
address.
like you're spying, and
Yeah.
there's nothing to it. Move along. Nothing to see there.
The
Well,
fucking drone
I-
guy, man.
Now, mind you, my mailbox is like a quarter mile down the road from my condo, so
know.
it doesn't get checked very often.
Man.
Yeah,
That's-
I know where it is. Hang on, I think I have it.
That's wicked.
Terry, how are you doing tonight? Are you feeling better?
Spectacular. Yeah, I feel a lot better. Appreciate you asking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, over the hump. It was a pretty nasty few days there, but hey, proper medicine, we're all good.
There you go. And as long as it's not the coronavirus, I think you're good.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. So listen, thank you for joining tonight. Terry is our resident drone guy. He is also the leader of the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade Drone Cav. If you haven't heard about the Drone Cav yet, you need to know about the Drone Cav, especially if you are a filmmaker who watches the Brigade. Terry has some very cool stuff coming down the line with the Drone Cav, and his mission and goals for it are phenomenal and perfectly in line with what we want the Indie Brigade to become. So you need to when Terry speaks, y'all need to listen.
Absolutely.
So,
But
Terry,
before that, George, just so the people out there know, what are they listening to and who are we speaking with, please?
your timing is so fucking terrible.
And now we're going to pause to this.
There it is. There's the graphic. There's all of our things right now. For anybody out there listening to the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast, we are talking with members of all of the divisions of the Indie Brigade. We are talking with Chuck Nasty from the Nasty Nation with Chuck Nasty. We are talking with Terry Gerald from the Drone Cav. We are talking with Samantha Wagner from the Wagner Wiles. We always have Joe on here to fucking blame his ass for shit. And sadly, I think Ian might be still driving, so I'm not sure if he's going to get in time to make it to tonight's episode. But just to talk about Ian very quickly, Ian is the artist responsible for the new look and feel of the Romero Pictures and the Indie Brigade brand. He's also the man responsible for the artwork we're featuring in the Scare Tactical line of outlaw loadouts for the indie artist. And again, every single piece of Scare Tactical gear that you purchase through the Romero Pictures merch store, a portion of every single sale goes to developing and getting the Veterans Compound launching off the ground, getting our 501c3 certification, doing all that stuff so that we can really kind of start to help vets, because I'm tired of waiting for other people. So this is how we're going to do it.
See, we already got people asking questions that want to be educated about drones. This one's for Terry.
Yeah, I've been hearing that. I've got to check into that with Best Buy. Unless that's a store policy, it really doesn't fall under any federal guidelines. Kind of back up a little bit about the Drone Cav too. And I'm really stoked to be part of the Indie Brigade too and bring this to filmmakers, because drones are such a tool now that can be used to do a million things. It's not just these really high 200-foot shots. I mean, you can use these for so many things. But I'm also the regional FAA drone pro here. So one of the things I'm bringing to the Drone Cav is to help filmmakers get off, pun intended, get off the ground the right way and understand things just like this question. Is this a real thing? And again, it could be a store policy thing, but there are no federal laws or anything prohibiting the purchase of a drone at 17 years old. So that's a good question to ask, and that's something I would always happily follow up on. But the Drone Cav will be a mix of things. We're going to have, of course, regular text-based blog posts, and I'm starting to shoot video tips and tricks. What different drone models can do. What model do you really need? I mean, do you need to go out and spend 20 grand on a drone? No, probably not. You can really do some amazing things once you understand the settings, flight techniques, things like that. So I really am a firm believer in that picture is worth 1,000 words thing, or a short video clip. So I want to bring that as sort of an educational, instructional thing along too. And I like to make myself accessible. I mean, I might be opening a Pandora's box there, but I welcome questions and feedback, because I love to talk drones. I love to talk how to do aerial cinematography and what it can do for your production, and really make it more of an asset than just hey, let's get this really high shot and call attention that it was a drone. So.
Well said, Terry. And, I think one of the coolest parts about, hey, Brandy, and, Terry, I just want to back up and tell you that I'm really sorry that Joe interrupted you right when you were about to sort of hit your flow there. So I apologize for Joe.
So anyway, what George is trying to say, Terry, is...
Aren't you sick, Joe? Why are you, what? Man, I can't wait to get my coffee mug. I'm telling you what. Anyway, what I love about what you're doing is that there are so many ways for drones to be used in independent filmmaking for hundreds of dollars as opposed to thousands. And you've got such a unique take on it, and all of the work that you do, all of the official work that you do in the drone community makes you exactly the guy who should be teaching these guys this stuff. How to use a drone and think of it like a crane or a dolly, or a Steadicam, as opposed to all that other expensive stuff. It's just not as needed as much in the no budget world, and I think that's really cool, and I'm excited to watch you kind of teach and do it with no handcuffs. Do it in a way that you're passionate about. That's what excites me about it. So,
what if you like handcuffs? I'm sorry.
It's amateur, not indie.
Are we going to go down that rabbit? No, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
So there you go, everybody.
There's the cough.
There it is. It's almost gone. Everybody watching and paying attention tonight, you are looking at most of the actual Indie Brigade at this particular point in time. I'm very excited about it. We are adding things almost daily. Right now, you can watch, and I believe, Joe, I want you to talk about this if you can. Everything's going to be available at different times, new episodes, right? So it's not like we're just going to throw a bunch of shit against the wall on Fridays or something, right?
Oh, and see if it sticks. No, absolutely not. So Sunday, we're going to have Chuck's Not So Sober Sunday.
Somewhat sober.
Somewhat
Sunday.
sober. See?
It's fun.
That's Joe is no longer somewhat sober.
Fine. Whatever. And then Monday, it's going to be Ian, and the Devil is into Detail. That's going to be his blog. Tuesday, I forget what we were doing Tuesday.
Terry Tuesday.
Oh, Terry Tuesday. Thank you. See?
Man,
Good job, Joe.
I'd like just sitting here like, really?
Remember, I'm sick, dehydrated, and
Really?
drinking liquor. So the drone cab will be on Tuesdays.
Man.
Whether Terry's dropping a live or another tutorial video or a blog. And then on Wednesday, we have, I got to find that, the Wacky Wagner Wild... Wicked Wagner Wiles Wednesday.
Wicked Wagner Wiles Wednesdays. I don't know how many more W words can fit in there.
Weird wanderings.
Yeah.
Wickedly Wonderful Wagner Wild Wednesday.
Yes.
The
And
Wonderful World of the Wagner Wednesdays.
And then, wow, I'm going to catch hell for all of this. And then Thursday is Nasty Nation with Chuck Nasty. His podcast his main podcast drops on Thursday. And then on Friday, there's that little show called Romero Pictures Indie Brigade, which we're on right now. Thank you for joining us. Shut up, George.
Joe, you're terrible at this.
It's amateur hour at Romero Pictures Indie Brigade.
Amateur,
not indie.
Amateur Indie Hour.
Serious catching
I
on.
think there's
See?
a new hashtag coming.
Oh, that could be messy.
Oh, man. We're not going down this
It could
road.
be nasty.
It could be
There you
nasty,
go.
messy.
There you go.
So, George, we're going to have to start bidding farewell to our Indie Brigade family. Oh, he hit the mute button when he coughed that time. Very good. And for those with audio only, George just flipped me off.
I did no such thing. That would be tasteless.
So before we exit our Indie Brigade family, George, what is everybody listening to, and who is on about to exit?
Well, Joe, I'm glad you asked me this time because everybody out there in the world of audio only is listening to the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host, George C. Romero. Some other guy named Joe.
Is it Ranchley? Is it
Ridgely? We're going with Ridgely.
Okay.
I respect you again. No, I don't. Right now, we've been speaking with most of the members of the Indie Brigade. We've got Chuck Nasty from Nasty Nation with Chuck Nasty. We've got Samantha Wagner, one half of the Wagners with the Wagner Wiles. We've got Terry Gerald, our resident drone god of all drone things. So there you go. That's who's on the show right now. That's who's on Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host, George C. Romero and Joe Ridgely.
And now we're going to get rid of all of them. Thank you for joining us.
See you guys. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome to the family.
Absolutely. All right. One by one, they fall.
And then there were two.
How's that make you feel?
I don't know. Kind of lonely. Kind of like I want to bring up Mick.
Wow. Mick is really sending me photos right now as we're talking. Rad. All right. Anyway, so let's bring up Mick because I know we have a couple other people to speak with as well.
Mick and Posse.
Well, we're going to bring Mick up first.
Absolutely.
For a few minutes and let Mick talk about his movie making experience. I think he might have done one or two things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
But without further ado, is he going to act frozen now? Seriously, Mick?
I think he.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just me.
I was going to say, George, you broke him. When he first did one of my shows, he sang Meet the Weebles. So.
Meet the Weebles! Meet the Feebles!
Oh, man.
One of my favorite stories of all time is talking to who's the guy that directed Meet Feebles?
You?
Oh, you don't. You know about Meet the Feebles, right?
Well, yeah, the puppets and yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of the film Feebles?
Oh,
Yeah.
What? Oh, Joe, he's breaking up.
Oh, he's Max Hedgerming.
Oh, fuck you, Joe.
Hello?
There you are.
And he's back.
Mick,
And he's frozen.
Should I not move? Is that what does it?
I don't know.
Okay.
No,
So,
I don't think so. It's hard to not move when you talk.
What the hell's happening?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should dedicate
back
the rest
to
of this episode to getting on tech support with Mick. Mick, go ahead and call your tech support department. We got you.
I tried to get rid of everything, hoping that this would
Alleviate the issues that we're having right now?
everything run smooth. That's right. Yeah, that's right. What I really like is you got me on such a narrow frame. It's like I can drift.
Well, let's try this one. Oh, no, I don't like that. Nope. There you go.
That's better.
There you go. That's
There it
better. You see,
Is that a better frame for you?
I'm not this. I'm not this. I'm this.
Oh, and I'm this. So
You know what I am. I'm this. Hey.
oh, he's
See, now I feel more natural. Yeah, I can move around. Okay, so hey.
So, Mick, how are you?
Jackson, Peter Jackson.
Joe, I'm all right, man. I'm really pissed off at Joe over this internet connection you're having. But other than that,
I don't know what the hell this is all about. But it has nothing to do with the fact that it's been hailing all day. The hail. This place is gone down.
What he said.
No.
Absolutely.
You want what I've got? Wagner wants what I've got.
Man, I just want an audio clip of the parts of his sentences that are coming through. This place has gone to. Man, let me tell you what I got. It's penicillin.
All right, I'll tell you what we can do if possible, and and this is just a suggestion. Mick, log off, reset your router and your modem, and then restart your computer and join us in about 5 minutes. Because this isn't going to work, unfortunately.
Okay. I got it. Okay, I will. Fine, be that way.
But we're still going to keep. Oh, whoa. Okay.
Oh wow. He was like, "Fuck you, Joe."
Right.
That was awesome.
All right. So just so everybody knows, I'm going to bring TJ and Kurt on, just for a second, and then. So everybody knows what's going on.
TJ, what's up?
TJ and Kurt.
Hey,
Kurt, what's up? Thank you guys for joining Mick.
My video is a little bit better.
See, okay, so nobody can blame me for Mick if everybody else is.
Well, Mick is actually a technical difficulty in himself.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yes. TJ can speak for that too.
Yes.
And Joe, we all know it's not your fault, but that's not going to stop us from blaming you.
Right.
Have you learned nothing? We have coffee mugs. We have coffee mugs designed to blame you for things.
I have fingers to count. You're no. Whatever.
No matter how big the Indie Brigade gets, blame Joe is a much bigger message.
What do we got from?
It's really for the world. I mean, you know. Guys, thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate you guys coming on board, and I'm looking forward to hearing what all is going on. I don't know. Do you guys just want to? What do you want to do?
You want to wrap, or you want to wait for Mick? I could drop you guys back down. Wait 5 minutes. I can drill George a little, make fun of him. How do you guys want to go about doing this?
Make fun of George? That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not really a thing, though.
You guys start. Go ahead.
Well, it's not a thing. It's not a segment of your show. It should be.
Well, see, my favorite thing to say to George is pre-show, just so you know the guy will actually possibly smile or something. Is George? You got that one hair out of place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, it's not going to work now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You tried.
I did.
That was bad. That was bad.
Did you notice that? I had to go there, but did you notice that Mick had his one fan with him?
Yes, he had the clear shot of his fan.
Right,
Man, you know, Jester proceeded below the flight deck, man. You saw no danger and took the shot. I get it.
That's awesome. So,
man, TJ, shut up. You're talking too much.
Okay, so you know what? I'll give you the pitch. Since Mick is not here, I will pitch it. Okay,
Go ahead.
We're taking Mick's book, Behind the Screams, and we're going to adapt it into this cartoon / live action anthology series type thing. Where we're going to take all of Mick's stories that he tells on all of our podcasts, and we're going to turn them into cartoons. And we're going to have little short stories with Mick narrating with special guests, and we're going to have a whole soundtrack produced for it. It's going to be a whole big thing. And Mick is he is the archive.
Yeah, he looks better now. Mick, we're done. We talked about everything. So
Right. Yeah, I already did the pitch, man. I already did the pitch.
We brought our fan back too.
Okay, great. Well, I wanted to add a George Romero part to this pitch, an Indie Brigade point to this is that I think that every week we ought to check in and let you know how it's going, and maybe as Dean says, what we will be doing is within a week or so we'll be laying out our first story to get to we have an emanator an animator that we want to test out, and let's see if I can. His
Not
name
freeze.
is Craig Clayton.
Oh, he dropped out and put me full frame. Shame on you, Mick.
Picture of Corey of one of his pieces, just to show how strange and twisted his animation is. Joe,
We got about
you want to bring
half
up that second picture?
the
Oh,
skin-
you have a picture?
Oh, wow. Okay, somebody's mic sounds fried. That picture?
Boom!
Oh,
There it is.
I sound
Funny
fine.
shot behind the screen.
No, that's going to be that's the book that all of this is based on.
Okay. Oh,
Why
I
do
didn't
you
get
all
the,
look? Why are you looking at me like?
because you're like Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto. It's-
Absolutely. And there's this crazy noise going on right now.
hey, Mick.
Listen, TJ, Kurt, can you guys tell everybody how this whole thing came about? Mick, I love you. I'm not being rude, but if you're cutting out, you got these guys here. Let them fill us in real
I
quick.
told you we'd give you 5 minutes to reset your stuff.
So somebody tell us how this whole thing came about.
Who's taking the stage?
Looks like TJ's eager to say something.
Okay, so Kurt and I basically have the same job right now. We both are in charge of recording mixed thoughts and feelings, and stories and memories.
I'm sorry.
It's brutal.
it is a brutal task, but we love it. But with those come some incredible stories, and Mick had this wonderful idea one day to turn those stories into entertainment for others in a visual form rather than audio form through cartoons and live action skits. And that would be the whole basis of taking his book and making it this, which is Behind the Screams anthology series cartoon thing. Title yet to be determined. We're going to workshop it. Get the thing.
I love this idea. I love all of Mick's stories. TJ, we met when we did. I think we did we did a piece together. We did a podcast together. You and I met. This is our first time meeting face to face. Kurt, I'm really happy to formally meet you on this show as well.
Yeah.
Nick, you keep looking like everything's fixed, and then you move a little bit, and you freeze. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but.
Hey, can we have TJ?
Totally not my fault.
Where's your Blame Joe coffee mug? If you had one, you could blame Joe.
If I did, and I'm going to get one. I don't suppose it's gotten any better.
No.
Well, TJ's done a really good job explaining it.
So George, let's do this. Can we have TJ?
Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host George C. Romero and Joe Ridgely.
That's okay. Very good, but
I'm just going to do interpretive dance in the corner.
Shirtless.
Are you kidding? He's got a fresh ironed shirt. So, everybody.
What I would like to do
That's
is
fun.
have TJ and Kurt actually explain who they are, tell us who they are and what they're about before, Mick takes his clothes off.
Fill us in. Introduce yourselves.
Kurt, go for it.
Well, I guess I'll start because I made TJ talk earlier. I do a podcast with Mick. It's called The Dream Warrior Review. Surprise, surprise. And we talk a lot about, actually, I think I've kind of purged out some of the Nightmare on Elm Street stories, but they come back eventually. They always come back. But, we tell stories. We also review movies. We review a new movie roughly every Thursday night we do a movie. And then we talk about old movies, his movies, whatever comes up. And that's why we had George on. We reviewed a wonderful movie called Thanksgiving. And
man, that was fun.
Why not? Yeah.
It was a wonderful Thanksgiving episode, and I had a hell of a good time doing it.
Yeah, we had fun.
And it was funny that all of the redeeming shit that we've actually found to talk about with regard to that movie.
Right.
So if you haven't listened to it, you need to get out there and listen to us review Thanksgiving.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We talk about safety.
What is this? What is this?
That's the one takeaway. Safety.
So listen. So TJ, you're up.
Okay, so I am founder and editor of DoBackDiscussion.net, and I run the podcast network over there. I have 3 podcasts, Gore and More, where I review old B horror films and all sorts of fun movies. I also have Jerk the Curtain, which is a professional wrestling podcast, and Rabbit Hole, where we tell stories with Mick. And then I am a marketing manager at Skeleton Crew Productions with Adam Marcus, and I am a known accomplice to Mick Strawn. That is about it. I do a lot of podcasting, a lot.
It's fun though.
Yeah, it is very fun. But editing 3 shows a week is just so draining, and it's just staring at wavelengths all day and editing and noise reduction, and it's just what's going on.
I'm really sorry that you have to go through all of that, man. You know?
I think you need noise reduction when you're editing Mick talking. Trust me.
I'm trying to actually give sympathy to somebody other than Joe. Is all I'm trying to do.
I mean, I wish I would have known Mick was going to be this quiet. I would have placed a Vegas bet on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host George C. Romero and Joe Ritchie. We're talking with Kurt Thomas, TJ Bowser, and Mick Strawn, who is he's being technologically muted this evening, but he did manage to flip off Joe just then. Go ahead, Joe.
But he looks pretty. I don't know. He's got something that's. He's choking something, and he's frozen at that.
So where are you guys with everything? Mick was talking about wanting to do something with the Brigade with this, but let's get to that. Where are you guys with this? What's going on right now? Where are you with getting the stories, recorded, getting everything transcribed, and getting animators working and everything?
So you found an animator. And I think what Mick was bringing up was to maybe come onto your, have like a repeated thing where we come onto your show and update you on the film's progress. I think that's what Mick was proposing. Yep.
Yeah.
See, exactly. That's why he's freaking out right now, because we know each other. He knows.
He showed his O face. That was amazing.
That's up to George, though. He can answer that question.
Yes, it's done. Absolutely. I want to give you guys a full-on production diary on the website if you guys are willing to update a 4th thing. I'm not trying to put extra work on you. We can put as much of that on Joe as you want.
But right now, I'd say we're in the pre-production stage. We're about to sit down and figure out storyboards, pretty much just to sit down and figure out like what our first season of stories will be, and then which one we're going to group together and flow the best. Yeah.
What's your sort of plan to do with this? Once you get everything done, are you going to go for getting a whole season done and then trying to put it out there? Or are you just putting it out there for free on YouTube? Or are you going to be going after some sort of distribution? Maybe you need somebody to help with?
I think turning the thing into a web series and then taking the web series episodes, putting them together, and then releasing them as an anthology, and then going from there would be the best bet that we're going to go, and then release those on streaming as a movie. So like season 1 can be put together as a film, and then season 2 is, and so on and so forth.
That sounds really cool. I'm laughing at Mick over here.
Is it going to be anime style? I want to see Mick in anime style.
See, what we're going to do is right now we're signed on with one animator, but we're going to get different animators to kind of switch it up a bit. And we're going to have ones from maybe more artistic type of animators to ones that are very, very basic and more, let's say, maybe not even considered animation. Just something that portrays the story maybe the most shitty way possible or the best way possible, depending on your viewpoint.
I love it. I actually really love it. And Mick and I have actually talked about this project a little bit prior to you guys coming on. And I love everything about it. And I'm hoping that the Brigade can help you guys find some more artists as well. So anybody out there paying attention who may be an animator and wants to get involved with a really cool project with some really cool people on it, pay attention.
It's kind of It's kind of
Oh,
crappy
no, go
because
ahead, Joe. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
no, no,
Go
no,
ahead
no.
and interrupt me again. Tired of your shit. So go out and pack the smokes.
There's actually a funny story if Mick can actually speak. We won't name drop or anything, but Mick made a post a couple of weeks back about looking for animators, and I suggested somebody, and holy shit, do I wish I didn't freaking suggest somebody. Because
I'm not sure what happened.
The animator got a little too high on his high horse and was discussing friggin' regular animation rates. Nobody settled for anything but, and it was like, dude, I was trying to hook you up with a job, brother. I wasn't trying to friggin'.
Well, hey man, that's sadly something that all of us run into, and it's not. Look, everybody. One of the biggest struggles out there for indie artists is when you get to that point in life where you start charging money that you're worth, and that's a big fucking deal in every indie artist's career, So on the one hand, you kind of understand where it comes from. On the other hand, you think, well, they still got a lot to learn. Then you think like, that's all right. I'll catch you on your way back down.
My favorite thing was when Mick commented, "You really know how to make friends, don't you?"
I'm gonna have to go back and check this out. I don't know what the hell happened or who the hell you're talking about.
I'll let you know later.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah,
it was good stuff though. Kind of like, holy
funny.
shit.
It was.
So you guys, TJ, Kurt, you guys have an animator now. You guys said you already have one animator, yeah?
Yes.
Is that somebody you can talk about? Something you can talk about yet, or no?
That's up to Mick.
I think he was gonna before, but
This is the.
Let's see if he can speak.
This is the beginning.
You guys realize if you have any disagreements
Can I talk?
with Nick,
Yeah, you can talk. Apparently not.
You fuckers.
you guys realize if you have any disagreements with
talk?
anything Mick is doing, now is the time.
Right. I mean, exactly.
Just say, well, if there's anything you want to go your way instead of his, just commit it right now.
like I don't like the way your conditioner smells.
Yeah. Oh, guys, what else do you want to what else do you want people to know who are watching about the project, about Behind the Screams, about the animation? So what I'd like to do is set up a production diary where you guys are as transparent as you would like to be through the Indie Brigade with this process. That would basically entail a blog that I'll give you access to. And you can put up video, you can put up text entries, however you want to do it, artwork, that type of stuff. I would love it if you guys would be proactive on that, because one of my dreams here for the Indie Brigade is to actually get productions to be transparent for some of the people who are trying to learn. So other than that, what else should we know about your project? What else should we know about what's going on with Behind the Screams?
Well, I mean, just look at where it comes from. It's amazing stories, amazing interviews based on an amazing movie. That's really all I have to say about it. I mean, this is our teaser here. I mean, come on, we don't want to give all those secrets away right now, do we?
No, not at all. I'm not asking you to give away secrets,
Right,
maybe one or two, but I'm just, I'm very excited about the project. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very excited that you guys are willing and want to do it with the Brigade in this sort of capacity. And hopefully we can help you guys find a bunch of cool animators to join your team as well.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Mick is typing furiously. Texting.
Man.
I would love the publicity guy. That's kind of what we do for you, man.
Mick, you want to try speaking again?
He wants a publicity guy. That's weird.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, there
Yes.
you go.
Can you hear me?
No.
You're Max Hedgerbank.
Well, guys, this is going to go down in the Guinness Book of World Record as the least amount of talking Mick has ever done. Mick, we love you so much.
We
We're
really
so
do.
proud that you're part of our mentor program.
I heard that.
We're so proud to have you as part of our mentor program. If you want to hear more or anything from Mick, book a session with him. He's a genius at this stuff, and he's got some phenomenal knowledge that he's willing to pass on to you. So other than what you can get from him in the comments and from episodes when he can talk, there is a way for you to get some knowledge directly from him, and that's through the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade Mentor Program. Guys, TJ, Kurt, Mick, do you want to tell Mick is actually taking his shirt off now?
Wow. I didn't know he had a third nipple.
You're listening to the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host, George C. Romero and Joe Ridgely. Right now, our guests are TJ Bowser, Kurt Thomas, and Mick Strawn stripping.
And his chest
welcome to it. So, guys, where...
We'll start off with TJ. Go ahead.
Yeah. Where can we find you?
Okay, you can find me over on dobackdiscussion.net, on Instagram at layhost with laymost, and on Facebook at TJ Bowser / the Doback Daddy. Rabbit Hole Gore and More and Jerk the Curtain podcast. Find those on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. That is all.
Thank you so much, TJ.
All
Kurt.
right, we are going to drop TJ out. We got Kurt. Go.
Well, mine isn't as fancy as TJ's. What you do is you go to this thing called Google and you search for Dream Warrior Review. No, really, it's everywhere. It's on Podbean, it's on iTunes, it's on Google, it's on Stitcher. It's anywhere a podcast can be found, pretty much. And of course, Facebook. Mick is all over Facebook. He's kind of like a virus. He's spreading very quickly. And we're on Facebook as well, Dream Warrior Review. It's at DWR or DW Review. Sorry, I always forget that one, but that's where we are on Twitter and Facebook. So we're all over the place. Just Google us.
Awesome. Kurt, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Hopefully you guys will come back on again without technical difficulties and we can get into some serious talking about some shit. But I'm happy we got to talk about what you have going on, and it means the world to me you came on. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, Mick, I'm giving you the floor.
Yeah,
good chat.
Thanks.
We heard that.
No.
No?
No.
You're like a better looking Jeff Bridges right now.
Is this garbled ball?
No, wait a minute. He put his clothes back on. What the hell?
Now you seem okay. Mick,
am I back to normal?
No.
No.
No. God damn it.
Actually, the answer to
Like
the
I
proper
said,
answer
it's
to that is never. So
never. Well, I am going to share this project with you guys all the way through, and we'll share it when we have storyboards and everything else as we go along. And I am a robot.
I get it, man, and I love it, and I love you, Mick, and I'm so proud that you want to do this with the brigade. So we're gonna, you and I are gonna talk tomorrow, and I'll get you set up with everything you need, and I'll get everybody the access and accounts they need and all that stuff, and we'll get it going as sort of the first transparent production through the Indie Brigade window to filmmaking.
Transparent production. We'll call it Transparent Productions.
It's amateur, not indie.
And Mick is stuck on his O face. Now he's going to slap somebody. Oh my God. Oh, for those audio only, you have to go to YouTube and check this out. You really
this is amazing. This is amazing. Mick, thank you so much, man.
Good night, Mick. He's not going to stop laughing. So
I might not either. I fucking love that guy. Well, Joe, what a disastrous episode.
Oh, and we all know.
Yep. Romero Pictures, finger pointing division, #blame Joe. God damn it, Joe, really? Seriously?
Got a few more comments. I don't know if we want to look at any of them. Nope, don't feel like it. What do you got going on? No, I'm kidding.
I'm Man, that was crazy. That was a crazy experience. It was a lot of fun, though.
Oh, absolutely. Just so you know, Katie Walsh joined us. Thank you very much for
Katie.
joining us. We love Katie.
Yes, we do. Yeah. So anyway, we had a great time tonight. I'm really happy about everything we got to talk about. I'm really happy that we got to sort of get the exclusive scoop on Mick's project with TJ and Kurt. I think that was super cool. And I wish Mick had been able to participate. Tune in next week when we have another guest who may or may not be able to participate.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, though, because next week, ladies and gentlemen, we have Jan Birch coming on, and he's got a new movie coming out soon. And we also have Michael Mandeville joining us.
Yes, we do. Next week is going to be very cool. Jan is an awesome guy. We're excited to have him on next week. And Michael, as always, if you all need to learn something about how this shit gets did, pour a cup of coffee, pour a beer, pour a glass of wine, pour whatever it is you pour, sit back and buckle up because it's going to be me and Michael again, and he's just getting back from NATP, however the hell you say it. So that's really going to be a cool experience. He's going to be able to talk about a place that a lot of us indie folks don't have access to and can't really get into. So he's coming back with some inside scoop on some actual industry shit, and we're very excited about that.
And he was repping the Indie Brigade, and there is a link that we will leave to that article.
Yes, he is sort of the Indie Brigade's man on the ground at this thing, and it's very cool. And he's also a part of our mentor program as well. So if you need to know anything from the great mind of Michael Mandeville, book a session with him at romeropictures.com. Joe,
I just want to look into your eyes for a while.
Where in the fuck can people find the audio podcast?
I think you already mentioned that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple of them, but that's really on you.
Oh, okay. So what do we got? iHeartRADIO, Spotify, Pandora, TuneIn, Google, Apple, and a few other ones that are slipping my mind right now.
I like the way Kurt said it better. Pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find the Indie Brigade now.
There you go. I like that too.
Boom.
We're going to hashtag that.
All right. Are we good?
Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, please. And yeah, that's
help us keep the lights on, help keep the servers running. If you like what you see, if you feel like you're learning something, if you dig the community vibe of the Indie Brigade, if you just want to be involved, if you just want to see us keep going, keep growing, getting bigger and not stopping, go buy some merch. Help us keep the lights on, help us keep the servers running. With all of that said, thank you everybody for tuning in. Fuck off till next time.